Hey everyone, my name is Cristina Montoya. I'm a registered dietitian and a person living with rheumatoid arthritis for the past 20 years and more. Today, I am participating in this amazing campaign, Talk Over RA, where I'm joining other Canadian warriors to share our journeys of living with rheumatoid arthritis, what works, what doesn't. And so I'm very excited about today's topic because these are the 5 supplements that I take as a dietitian living with rheumatoid arthritis and why. Just a reminder that information shown in this video is for educational purposes only and should not substitute the specific advice from your physician or healthcare provider. I'm a dietitian, but I'm not your dietitian. Let's start. My number 1 is calcium. And why? Because inflammation associated with rheumatoid arthritis and the use of corticosteroids can increase the risk of osteoporosis. And Osteoporosis Canada recommends to consume 1,200 milligrams of calcium daily for the prevention of osteoporosis. Ideally, you want to meet this through food. And it is actually quite easy to get your calcium through food. So if you follow a plant-based diet, you can see here, you can get it from tofu, almonds, sardines with bones, or like canned salmon with bones, and also dairy alternatives like soy milk, almond milk. In fact, 1 cup of almond milk has 300 milligrams of calcium because all these dairy substitutes must be fortified with calcium. So if you take 3 cups of almond milk a day, that gives you 900 milligrams of calcium. But that also means that you may need to supplement a little to reach that 1,200 milligrams. So some fun facts about calcium supplements. The body can only absorb 500 to 600 milligrams of calcium at a time from a combination of food and supplements. And this calcium refers to the elemental calcium. So when you get the supplement, make sure that you read the label in the back and see how much actually the total of elemental calcium you're taking at a time. So ideally, you want to make sure that, let's say you drink that cup of almond milk that is fortified with calcium and 1 tablet of calcium carbonate. Chances are that you might be taking more than 500 or 600 milligrams of calcium. The rest is discarded by the body. So you want to make sure that you get the best out of this calcium absorption. So your calcium interferes with also the absorption of other minerals like zinc, magnesium, and iron, and interferes with the absorption of antibiotics and other medications. The best, the type of calcium that I take is calcium citrate because I'm very careful with my gut health, and calcium carbonate usually gives me constipation. So calcium citrate absorbs easily and has less digestive side effects, and most importantly, it doesn't need stomach acid to break down. So you can take calcium citrate at any time in the day, provided that you do not take it with other minerals. Calcium carbonate needs the stomach acid for better absorption, but it also can help with maybe some stomach upset. So that's why antacids usually contain calcium carbonate, which also accounts for the daily calcium intake. Vitamin D and carbohydrates can enhance the calcium absorption. My number 2 is magnesium. And as much as I want to eat chocolate and avocado and bananas all day, I need more variety of foods. So magnesium is also a type of mineral that it's abundant in many food sources. But sometimes we don't feel our best. We might not probably eating as much or a variety of foods throughout the day. Magnesium has also shown anti-inflammatory benefits. It supports bone health, muscle health, cardiovascular health, and it helps with stress management. The recommended daily dose, it's up to 400 milligrams a day. some facts about magnesium is that just like calcium, it comes in different salts of magnesium. So magnesium citrate and glycinate are the most common supplements. The citrate absorbs well and can help with constipation, and glycinate has more common effects. Magnesium oxide is used in a more therapeutic way, which is as a laxative, but that you should consult with your doctor. The best time to take magnesium is really the same time every day. If your purpose is to help with your bowel regularity, then you might want to take it first thing in the morning or in the evening. And if you want like more calming effects, then you want to take it in the evening. Make sure that you take it with food, but separate from foods that contain iron or folic acid or supplements that at least by 2 hours. For laxative effect, so please consult with your physician or dietitian because you may require a higher dose of magnesium. Vitamin D3. Virtually, this is the one vitamin that we cannot meet other requirements through food. Also, there are like certain foods like salmon, eggs, that even butter that can have some vitamin D. Is just not enough. The best way to get vitamin D is through exposure to sunlight. But if you are like me, I don't have the privilege of going out and get this sunlight because of the weather. I live in Canada, so we have winter most of the year. But there are also the medications that I take and other diseases that makes me more susceptible to sunlight, and that can actually trigger symptoms like photosensitivity and even like fatigue and trigger my disease. So I really avoid exposure to sunlight, but whenever I go out for walks, I make sure that I protect my skin. But that's what supplementing with vitamin D3 becomes essential. And why vitamin D3? Because vitamin D3 is the active form of vitamin D. Vitamin D is such a key molecule in regulating the immune system. It is essential for calcium absorption, and the recommended daily dose for rheumatoid arthritis averages 2,000 international units a day, but it all depends on your physician's advice. And also, if you have a vitamin D deficiency, then you are going to need a higher dose. The best way to take vitamin D3 is with foods, especially with those that contains a little bit of fat in it, like yogurt, avocado, a little bit of butter even. And from the supplements, you want to take the ones that are oil-based, whether they are like the small soft gels or the liquid drops, because they're highly absorbable for the same reasons. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, so it is more easily absorbable with some type of fat. Because it's a fat-soluble vitamin, then it can be stored in the liver. So it's one of those vitamins that you can take once a week or once a month. It depends on the individual needs and medical advice. Omega-3 fatty acids, they are specifically EPA and DHA, help reduce the production of inflammatory molecules like cytokines and prostaglandins. Although the research on omega-3s for rheumatoid arthritis is mixed, we cannot really deny their anti-inflammatory properties, or at least it will help us maintain a better balance of the omega-6 and omega-3 ratio, which is essential for cell function, cardiovascular health. Some researchers recommend up to 3,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA from maybe a combination of foods and supplements. And then how do I choose the omega-3 supplements? So from these labels, I took one that is the soft gels. So typically you will see that, just take one a day and that's enough. But then you go and look at the back of the label, it will say, for rheumatoid arthritis, you need to take 4 soft gels daily. or as directed by a physician, because for soft gels provides the 3,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA that is recommended for rheumatoid arthritis. The problem with many of these soft gels, they are made using ethyl esters, which takes longer to get absorbed by the body. Where there's other medications that use the triglycerides, which are the compound. The triglycerides are the compounds that comes directly like from fatty fish, so it's more easily absorbable. I typically take the one is the liquid, so that's what it says, like 2,800 milligrams per 1.5 teaspoon. It's easier for me to swallow. That's another thing that I want to mention is that as someone who has difficulty swallowing, I try to get the supplements that are either on sublingual form, powder, or liquid. And the last supplement that I take is folic acid. And because certain medications recommended for rheumatoid arthritis can inhibit an enzyme necessary for folate metabolism, so it is helpful to prevent folic acid deficiency that could lead to anemia and more fatigue. Folic acid supplementation can help us maintain homocysteine levels, which is essential for cardiovascular health. And we know that even just living with rheumatoid arthritis is a risk factor for developing cardiovascular diseases. Folic acid helps us support cell function, and that's what is probably helpful to prevent hair loss and reduce side effects. The recommended daily doses ranges from 1 milligram a day to 5 milligrams a week, but that really depends on the conversation with your physician. And what is the best folic acid supplement? So the folic acid comes some different forms. The folic acid is the synthetic form of folate, and that's the most common form of folic acid or supplement that is out there. It's a cheaper form, but it requires like a conversion in the liver to become active. So it might take a little longer. So other supplements like the folic acid or the methylfolate, they come in an active form. So they might be more readily absorbable, but they are also more expensive and usually not covered by any by the drug plans. So that's it. Those are my 5 supplements: calcium, magnesium, vitamin D3, omega-3s, and folic acid. What supplements do you take for your rheumatoid arthritis and why? Please share in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I'm always uploading great information to support your journey with rheumatoid arthritis and other inflammatory arthritis.